Something that I need to be continually reminded of is that my experience with Bluebeam is different than yours. When I started working with Bluebeam, I had a Bluebeam license, CAD 2018 license. Seems my company paid, I don't know, $400 for me to have access to every functionality that Bluebeam Review CAD offered. So when I was first testing out all its functionalities, that's how I interacted with it. And other people didn't. They had the free version, is what they like to call it, of Bluebeam, which means you have some functionality, you have a lot of functionality, but there are some things that were restricted. And one way that our company kind of not really got around it, but enabled collaboration and really got more out of the tool is by creating studio sessions for what we needed in our company. So that gave each design team member, or just whoever is reviewing the drawings, pretty much all the tools that I had with a license inside a session. So that session was a little bit restricted or restrictive in that you had to be connected to the internet to log in, and sync up your red lines and all that stuff we know now. But as soon as your company pays $350 for a regular Bluebeam license, you now have all of those tools. So at that point, there's no more excuse for not using the tool to its full functionality. And I think I need to be grateful that I learned it this way. And be grateful for the opportunity to teach other people about it, but I need to teach other people about it. So I got a question yesterday. Hey, what sheet size do I print this PDF to? I'm printing it out of a session so that I can have the PDF. And it didn't really make sense to me when I interact with a PDF on Bluebeam. In the bottom right corner of my screen, there's the sheet size, and my brain saw it once, and so now I just know that's where it is. But if you don't know where to look, it could be hard to find. So we were able to find a solution, but if you have a Bluebeam license and you have a PDF document hosted in a studio session, you don't need to use print to get that PDF out of a session. Before you had a license, there's no option to get a document out of a session. It's kind of locked in there. You can't get it out. If you have a license and there's a document in session, all you need to do is save it down to your desktop. And what does that mean? How do you do that? It's just Control Shift S. Control S is save. Control Shift S is save as. So you're just saying, hey, Bluebeam, I want to save this PDF that's hosted in the session as something. And then the follow-up question is where. So I want to save it to my desktop as the same name. So I know that because when I first started with Bluebeam, that's just how you archive something out of a Bluebeam session, is to delete it out of the session and kind of save it as something else out of Bluebeam servers onto a local machine or a remote server or wherever you go. So that is what I'm going to show you. So you don't have to use the print function to get a PDF out of a Bluebeam Studio session anymore. Once your company pays $350, you have that functionality. So we're going to use it. All right, here we go. So we are in a studio session. I did not create this session, so I don't have full control there. I can't finish it out. But up here, I'm looking at our document. It's in a little tab view. This little icon means that this PDF document is hosted in this session. So you see I have one open next to it. It is not in the session. If I hover over it, you can see that file path populate. That's on my computer, but this one doesn't have a file path. It is hosted to the session. So if I wanted this out of the session, if I wanted to be able to edit this, print it, or not print it, but edit it, save it as a different name, I could use Control P and I could print it out. And then after that, define, hey, I want this printed to my desktop or whatever. And you can do that, and that's fine. But a much faster and easier way, you don't have to mess with any of this stuff, is just file save as. So for this example, I unregistered my license, so I can show you what it looked like before you received that license. So file save and save as are grayed out. Those are not options for people who want to save a PDF document that is hosted in a session down to their desktop without a Bluebeam license. So let's say, hey, my boss just bought me a Bluebeam license, hooray, authorized. So now, file, save as is an option. And right away, just where do you want to save it, what's the name? So that's all you gotta do. No more printing a PDF out of Bluebeam onto your desktop, just Control-Shift-S, tell them where you want to put it, save, boom. Now, no more Studio Sessions icon. This PDF is mine. I can do whatever I want with it.